Ages of English up to 450 to dark age 450, 1066 Old English or Anglo-Saxon period 1066 to 1500 Middle English period or Anglo-Norman period 1500 to 1600, the Renaissance or early modern rebirth of learning 1500 to 1600, 1558 to 1603 Elizabethan age 1603 to 1625 Jacobean age 1625 to 1649 Caroline age 1649 to 1660 Commonwealth period of political internum Oliver Cromwell 1660 to 1798 the neoclassical period. The neoclassical period 1670 to 1700 the restoration 1700 to 1745 the Augustan or the age of Alexander for 1745 to 1798 the age of sensibility transitional period age of Dr. Johnson 1798 to 1837 the romantic period William Wordsworth 1837 to 1901 the Victorian period 1848 to 1860 the Pre-Raphaelites 1901 aestheticism and decadence 1901 1945 modern period 1901 to 1914 the Edwardian period 1910 to 1936 the Georgian period 1945 Augustan postmodernism ages of English history of English or periods of English literary movements authors and their works Renaissance means rebirth of learning is a movement जो कि पीक पर था एलिजाबेथन एज में एलिजाबेथन एज को शेक्सपियरियन एज और गोल्डन एज भी कहा जाता है ओल्ड इंग्लिश और एंग्लो सैक्सन सेल्ट्स जो उधर ब्रिटेन में पहले से रह रहे थे उनको सेल्ट्स बोलते हैं संख्याओं में एंजल्स और सैक्सन ज़्यादा थे इसलिए एंग्लो सैक्सन नेम पड़ा एंग्लो सैक्सन एंड ग्रुप्स इन तीनों को मिलाकर जो भाषा है उसको ओल्ड इंग्लिश कहते हैं और यह एंग्लो सैक्सन क्योंकि दोनों नंबर में ज़्यादा थे बियोवेल्फ सबसे पुराना वर्क का राइटर बियोवेल्फ है अर्लिएस्ट वर्क ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर बियोवेल्फ अचीव नेशनल एपिक स्टेटस इन ब्रिटेन बियोवेल्फ Anglo-Saxon Chronicle collection of early English history Saint Bede works Epic poetry. Bible transitions include genre. Poem Cadman Hymn work 17th century is one of the oldest surviving written text in English. Major poets of Old English or Anglo-Saxon. Cadman, Cenewolf and King Alfred. Beowulf, first Old English epic. 3182 lines. Protagonist, sole hero. Its characters Beowulf, a hero of the gifts, grandeur, monster, Beowulf, Grendel की मदर को भी मार देता है. Middle English or Anglo-Norman. Hastings पर attack, first city, the William Norman Terrible, 14th October 1066, Norman conquest, Geoffrey Chaucer, The Canterbury Tales was written in Middle English or Anglo-Norman. Father of English literature, father of English poetry, highly regarded English poet of Middle Ages, Geoffrey Chaucer. पॉइंट्स कॉर्नर में दफनाया गया जो वेस्टमिंस्टर एवे में है. पॉइंट्स कॉर्नर में दफनाने वाले सबसे पहले पॉइंट थे जॉफरी चॉसर. जॉन वाइक्लिफ रोमन कैथोलिक चर्च के अगेंस्ट थे. वाइक्लिफ ने लोलार्ड मुहिम चलाया अगेंस्ट रोमन कैथोलिक चर्च. नॉर्मन कॉन्क्वेस्ट 1066 11th सेंचुरी मेड ऑफ नॉर्मन. फ्रेंच से आए थे, उन्होंने फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज बोले थे. विलियम द कॉन्करर. October 1066 between the Norman French and William the Duke. Between the Norman French army of William, Duke of Normandy, and an English army under the Anglo-Saxon King Harold Godwinson. The word medieval comes from the Latin word medium. Four main languages: Old French, Anglo-Norman, Latin, Old English, Celtic language. First printing press by William Caxton. Its impact: French-speaking ruling. French became the language of law and Old English. Society became hierarchized. King became the supreme ruler. It also led to changes in legal practice. Justice came under royal control. They introduced new building practices into England, which provided the kingdom with grandiose ecclesiastical and military monuments. They created important castles such as the Tower of London. Elizabethan Age. Queen Elizabeth शासन कर रही थी. It's also called Golden Age, Shakespearean Age, Shakespearean Sonnet, Edmund Spenser, Spenserian Sonnet, English poetry. सबसे ज़्यादा Edmund Spenser's के work, The Shepherd's Calendar and The Faerie Queene. Elizabethan Age is considered to be the height of the English Renaissance, full flowering of English literature and English poetry. Famous theatre, The Red Lion, 1567. Famous theatre in Elizabethan Age, The Red Lion, 1567 theatre, The Curtain. The Red Lion, 1567, The Curtain, 1560. 1577 Golden Theatre, 1599. World's Great Playwright, Christopher Marlowe, William Shakespeare. World's greatest playwright Christopher Marlowe, William Shakespeare, major literary figures Sir Philip Sidney, Christopher Marlowe, Agnes Spencer, William Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, University Wits, Christopher Marlowe, Robert Greene, John Lady, George Peele, Thomas Nast, Thomas Lodge, Thomas Cable, Flowering of Poetry, The Sonnet, the Spenserian stanza, dramatic blank verse. It was also the golden age of drama, especially for the plays of Shakespeare and Marlowe. Important facts: Royal Exchange, first stock exchange by Thomas Gresham in 1565. Jacobean age. James first Latin name. Shakespeare dates Trinity, Slocum, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth. Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. King Lear 1605, Macbeth 1606. Last work Tempest 1610. Shakespeare King James Bible version most authorized. The King James Bible are known as the English version of 1611. Victorian writers John Webster, John Marston, Thomas Middleton, George Chapman. Comedy was best represented by the acid satire of Ben Jonson, Francis Beaumont, John Fletcher. Forms of drama: Mask, popular author Francis Bacon, John Donne, John Fletcher, John Webster, George Chapman. The gunpowder plot of 1605 was a failed attempt to kill the Protestant King James I of England. Caroline Age of Milton, John Milton. Carolus, Latin name. I am preparing for BPSC TRE 4. Those who want to study live with me, you can join. Caroline Age of Milton, John Milton. Carolus, Latin name. Charles I versus Oliver Cromwell. Royalists versus revolutionaries, supporter Protestants. चार्ल्स फर्स्ट के सपोर्टर्स को कैलिबर बोलते हैं. इसी से कैविलियर पॉइंट आया. 3 kinds of poetry: metaphysical, cavalier, puritans. Major authors: John Milton, most famous metaphysical poet. John Donne, George Herbert. Yes. Major authors of Caroline Age: John Milton, John Donne, most famous metaphysical poet is John Donne, George Herbert, Robert Burton, Sir Thomas Browne. Commonwealth period. Political structure: 1649 to 1660, governed as a republic. Execution of Charles I, Oliver Cromwell के द्वारा. Major authors: John Milton and Abraham Cowley. Neoclassical age means new, but in literature new means fake, क्योंकि इसमें इमिटेशन की गई थी. रेस्टोरेशन एज में मोनार्की रिस्टोर कर ली गई थी इन 1660 इन इंग्लैंड. अब चार्ल्स सेकेंड came. Major author John Dryden, Afra Ben, the first English woman writer. Augustan age, Alexander Pope, 1744. Jonathan Swift, 1745. Augustan age, Alexander Pope, 1744. Jonathan Swift, 1745. ऑगस्टन एज में ड्रामा का कौन सा फॉर्म आया था? मेलोड्रामा, जिसके अंदर गाने के तरीके से दुख दर्द बताया जाता है। मेजर ऑथर्स, अलेक्जेंडर पॉप, जोनाथन स्विफ्ट, जोसेफ एडिसन, डेनियल डेफो। फोर विल्स ऑफ इंग्लिश नॉवल, हेनरी फील्डिंग। फोर विल्स ऑफ इंग्लिश नॉवल, हेनरी फील्डिंग, सैमुअल रिचर्डसन, थॉमस स्टर्ने, Tobias Small. Major authors of Augustan age, Alexander Pope, Jonathan Swift, Joseph Addison and Daniel Defoe. Age of Sensibility, also called Age of Johnson. ये डॉक्टर जॉनसन के नाम पर है। Major authors, Samuel Johnson, Oliver Goldsmith, Edmund Burke, James Boswell, Edward Gibbon, William Collins, Thomas Gray. The Romantic period, 1798, started in 1798, means romance with nature. 1798 से शुरू इसलिए माना जाता है क्योंकि विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ सबसे बड़े पोइट हैं रोमांटिक एज के, और एस टी कॉलेज के साथ इनका कोलाबोरेटिव वर्क लिटिकल बैलेड। इस पीरियड में फ्रेंच रेवोल्यूशन चल रहा था। मेजर ऑथर्स, विलियम वर्ड्सवर्थ, एस टी कॉलेज, सर वॉल्टर स्कॉट, रॉबर्ट बर्न्स, विलियम ब्लेक। विलियम वर्क्स ऑफ विलियम ब्लेक, सॉन्ग्स ऑफ इनोसेंस एंड सॉन्ग्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, पी.वी. शैली, जॉन केट्स। चार्ल्स लैम्ब, William Hazlitt, Thomas De Quincey, Marx, Thomas De Quincey, Mary Wollstonecraft, Lake Hunt, Jane Austen, Mary Shelley. The Victorian period. In Victorian period, women writing, major literary figure, Alfred Lord Tennyson, Robert Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Matthew Arnold, Thomas परमदीप धंडा। आप मत देखिए। The Victorian period, women writing, major literary figures, Alfred Lord Tennyson, Robert Browning, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Matthew Arnold, Thomas Carlyle, John Ruskin, Emily Bronte, Charles Dickens, William Thackeray, Thomas Hardy. It's my choice. मैं लाइव आकर पढ़ूं या ऑफलाइन पढ़ूं? The Pre-Raphaelites Brotherhood, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, William Holman Hunt, John Millais, Christiana Rossetti, William Morris, A.C. Swinburne. Aestheticism and decadence related to arts. Decadent movement used the slogan "Art for Art's sake." Major author, Oscar Wilde, Arthur Symons, Ernest Beauchamp, Lionel Johnson. What happened? Okay. Major author, Oscar Wilde, Arthur Symons, Ernest Beauchamp, Lionel Johnson. The critic Walter Hamilton was the first writer to name the movement publishing the aesthetic movement in England in 1882. Critic Walter Hamilton. The aesthetic movement in England 1882. Edward period. King Edward VII. W. Edward period. King Edward VII. W. Somerset Maugham. Successful playwright. The Edwardian period. King Edward II. W. Somerset Maugham. Successful playwrights of Edwardian period. Plays represented by Henry Gibson, George Bernard. In fiction, John Galsworthy. Among the most famous works of literary criticism was E.C. Bradley's Shakespearean tragedy 1904. The Georgian period, George V. Modernism and postmodernism. T.S. Eliot. First part of the 20th century, influenced by the ideas of Charles Darwin on origin of species 1859. On the origin of species 1859. Karl Marx, Das Kapital 1867. Psychoanalytic theories of Sigmund Freud. Major literary precursors of modernism. Fyodor Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment. Walt Whitman, Lips of Grass. Crime Punishment 1866. Crime Punishment 1866. Walt Whitman, Lips of Grass 1855 to 91. T.S. Eliot's most notable T.S. Eliot's most notable poetic works, The Wasteland, The Hollow Man, As Wednesday in 1930s. Major works by William Faulkner. Samuel Beckett published his first major work, the novel Murphy, 1993. 1932, John Cooper Poise published a Glastonbury romance. The major literary figures: Martin Heidegger, Jacques Derrida, Michael Foucault, Jean-Francois Lyotard, Frederick Jameson. The theatre of the absurd is generally seen as beginning in the 1950s with the plays of Samuel Beckett. Playwrights commonly associated with the theatre of the absurd including Samuel Beckett. Playwrights commonly associated with the theatre of the absurd include Samuel Beckett. Playwrights commonly associated with the theatre of the absurd include Samuel Beckett. Major literary figures of Georgian period: Martin Heidegger, Jacques Derrida, Heidegger, Martin Heidegger, Jacques Derrida, Michael Foucault, Jean-Francois Lyotard, Frederick Jameson. The theatre of the absurd is generally seen as beginning in the 1950s with the plays of Samuel Beckett, Major Works by William Faulkner. Samuel Beckett published Samuel Beckett published first major work, the novel Murphy. 1932, John Cooper Poise published a Glastonbury romance. Authors and their works: William Shakespeare, Sonnets 154, last work The Tempest, word assassination, born 23rd April 1564, died 23rd April 1660. Elizabethan age, called Bard of Avon, poet of England, spouse Anne Hathaway, 3 children, greatest tragedy Hokum, theatre The Globe, career history plays, comedy and romantic, Hokum tragedy, The Tempest, last work. Father John, glove maker, baptized at Holy Trinity Church, buried in the chancel of the Holy Trinity Church 2 days after his death. Sobriquet. Shakespeare is also called Bard of Avon. In 1623, John Hemingway and Henry Condell, two friends and fellow actors of Shakespeare, published the first folio that includes 36 plays. Pericles, Prince of Tyre, was not included in the first folio. Wrote 154 sonnets collectively on 20th May 1609 by Thomas Thorpe. Love Labour's Lost, A Midsummer's Night's Dream, The Merry Wives of Windsor, and The Tempest are Shakespeare's original plots. Four greatest tragedies are Hokum, Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth. Four great comedies: Much Ado About Nothing, The Merchant of Venice, Twelfth Night, or As You Like It. Four tragedies: Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth. Comedies: Much Ado About Nothing, Merchant of Venice, Twelfth Night, or As You Like It. Roman plays: Antony and Cleopatra, Coriolanus and Julius Caesar. Roman plays of William Shakespeare: Antony and Cleopatra, Coriolanus and Julius Caesar. Dramatic romances: his last four plays are tragic comedies called dramatic romances: Pericles, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and The Tempest. Comedy: 1590 to 91, Two Gentlemen of Verona. 1590 to 91, Taming of the Shrew. 1594, The Comedy of Errors. 1594 to 95, Love's Labour Lost. 1595, A Midsummer Night's Dream. 1596, The Merchant of Venice. 1598, Much Ado About Nothing. 1597, 98 the Merry Wives of Windsor. 1599 to 1600 As You Like It. 1601 Twelfth Night or What You Will. 1603 Measure for Measure. 1605 All is Well that ends well. 1603 Winter's Tale. 1611 The Tempest. History. 1591 Henry 6 Part 2. 1591 Henry 6 Part 3. 1592 Henry 6 Part 1. 1592 to 93 The Tragedy of Richard III. 1595 The Tragedy of King Richard II. 1596 The Life and Death of King John. 1569 to 97 King Henry IV Part 1. 1597 to 98 Henry IV Part 2. 1598 to 99 The Life of Henry and the Life of Henry V. 1516 Henry VIII or All is True. Tragedy. 1592 to 93 The Comedy of Titus Andronicus. 1595 The Comedy of Romeo and Juliet. 1599 The Tragedy of Julius Caesar. 1600 to 1601 The Tragedy of Hamlet. Prince of Denmark. 1602 The History of Troilus and Cressida. 1603 to 1603 to 4 The Comedy of Othello. The Moor of Venice. 1605 The Tragedy of King Lear. 1605 The Life of Timon of Athens. 1606 The Tragedy of Macbeth. 1606 The Tragedy of Antony and Cleopatra. 1607 Pericles, Prince of Tyre. 1608 The Tragedy of Coriolanus. 1610 The Tragedy of Cymbeline. 1613 to 14 The two novel Kinsmen, co-authored with John Fletcher. Poetry. Shakespeare poetry. 1593 Venus and Adonis. 1594 The Rape of the Lucrece. 1599 Sonnets to Sundry Notes of Music. 1599 The Passionate Pilgrim. 1601 The Phoenix and the Turtle. 1609 A Lover's Complaint. 1609 The Sonnets. 1612 Funeral Elegy by W.S. The Beast with Two Backs, phrase coined by Shakespeare. The Beast with Two Backs, phrase coined by Shakespeare. The Beast with Two Backs, phrase coined by Shakespeare. First 126 sonnets Young Man, 127 to 152 sonnets Dark Woman, lived through the Black Death. Famous books on Shakespeare, Hamlet and His Problem by T.S. Eliot. Artistic failure. Tributes paid to Shakespeare. If ever any author deserved the name of originality, it was Shakespeare. By Alexander Pope. Dark Lady, Mary Fitton. The final two sonnets refer to the little love gods. The main theme of the Shakespearean sonnet is love, divided in three quatrains and one rhyming couplet. The main theme of the Shakespearean sonnet is love. The main theme of the Shakespearean sonnet is love, divided in three quatrains and one rhyming couplet. Four quatrains means 4 line stanza, which is A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. 4 line stanza, quatrains and one couplet. A Shakespearean sonnet ends with a couplet. The total number of sonnets written by Shakespeare 154. 14 lines, 12 lines and 2 lines. 14 lines, 12 lines and 2 lines. 3 lines triplet. 4 lines quatrains. 12 line. 4 lines or 3 quatrains. 3 quatrains divided. Shakespearean sonnet divided in 3 quatrains and one rhyming couplet. A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. A Shakespearean sonnet ends with a couplet. The total number of sonnets written by Shakespeare is 154 in 14 lines, 12 lines, or 3 quatrains, or 2 lines, 1 couplet. Octave in a sonnet consists of 8 lines. Octave in a sonnet consists of 8 lines. 154 sonnets published in 1609. First 126 sonnets are dedicated to Mr. W.H. William Herbert. The rest 126 to 152. A Love Labour's Lost, 1594 to 95. Main character Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Lady Rosaline, Lady Maria, Lady Catherine, and Boyd, Princess Attendants. A Love's Labour Lost, 1594 to 95. Main characters Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Lady Rosaline, Lady Maria, Lady Catherine, and Boyd, Princess Attendants. Don Adriano de Armado, a Spaniard. Hollow Furnace Schoolmaster, Dull Constable, Costarda Rustic Clone, Jaquentic Country Wench. Characters of Love's Labour Lost, 1594 to 95. Main character Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Lady Rosaline, Lady Maria, Lady Catherine, and Boyd, Princess Attendants. Don Adriano de Armado, a Spaniard. Don Adriano de Armado. Don Adriano de Armado, a Spaniard. Holofernes Schoolmaster. Holofernes Schoolmaster. Holofernes Schoolmaster. Dull Constable. Costarda Rustic Clone. Costarda Rustic Clone. Costarda Rustic Clone. Jaquentia. Jaquentia. Jaquentia Country Wench. Jaquentia Country Wench. Characters of Love's Labour Lost, Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Don Adriano de Armando, Spaniard, Holofernes, Schoolmaster, Dull Constable, Costarda, Rustic Clone, Jaquentia, Country Wench, A Midsummer Night's Dream, 1595, Theseus, Duke of Athens, Aegeus, father of Hermia, Lysander and Demetrius in the love with Hermia, bottom a weaver, snout a tinker. Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons, betrothed to Theseus. Hermia in love with Lysander. Hermia in love with Lysander. Helena in love with Demetrius. Oberon, Phares, Titania's husband and king of the Oberon. Titania, queen of the fairies. Puck, Robin, Goodfellow, a fairy. Blossom, Cobweb, Moth, Mustard, Spit are fairies. Merchant of Venice, 1597. Character, Duke of Venice, authority who presides over the case of Shylock's bond. Antonio, a merchant of Venice. Bassanio, Antonio's friend, suitor to Portia. Gratiano, Solanio, Salario, friends of Antonio and Bassanio, in love with Jessica. Portia, a rich heiress. Farisa, Portica, waiting maid, in love with Gratiano. Balthazar, Portia's servant, who Portia's later disguises herself as Stepano. Nereosias disguised as Balthazar's Lockler. Shylock, a rich Jew. Moneylender. Father, Jessica. Daughter of Shylock, Jessica. Lancelot, Gobon. Shylock's servant and comic character. Old Gobo, father of Lancet. As You Like It, 1599 to 1600. Duke Frederick, Duke Senior's younger brother and is usurper. Rosalind, daughter to the banished Duke. Celia, Duke Frederick's daughter. Touchstone, a courtful clone. Lee Bew, a courtier attending on Frederick. Charles, a wrestler. Oliver, Jacques and Orlando, sons of Sir Roland D. Boys, Orlando, Adam and Dennis, Oliver's servant, Jacques, a disconnected, melancholic lord, Amyx, an attending lord and musician, Phoebe, a proud shepherdess, Sylvius, a Sylvius and Corinne, Audrey, a country girl, William, a country fellow in love with Audrey, Sir Oliver Martext, a curate on Vicer, 12th Night or what you will, 1601, Orsino, Duke of Illyria, who loves Olivia but marries Viola. Viola, Sebastian's twin sister, the heroine of the play, in love with Duke, the disguise of Cesario. Sebastian, Viola's twin brother, Olivia, a healthy countess in love with Viola disguised as Cesario. Malvoila, steward in the household of Olivia. Maria, Olivia's gentlewoman. Sir Toby Belch, Olivia's uncle. Sir Andrew Aguechick, a foolish knight, anxious to win the hand of Olivia in marriage. First, a clone and Fabian, a servant to Olivia. Antonio, a sea captain and friend to Sebastian. Valentine and Curio, gentlemen attending on the Duke. All is well that ends well. 1604 to 1605. 1604 to 1605. All is well that ends well. All is well that ends well. 1604 to 1605. King of France, Duke of Florence, Bertram, Count of Roslin. Bawa. King of France, Duke of Florence, Bertram, Count of Roslin, Lavage, a clone in her household, Helena, a gentlewoman protected by the Countess, Baroness, Aurora, Bertram, Diana, daughter to the window, Violenta, ghost character, The Tempest, 1611, all is well that ends well, 1604 to 5.
नहीं।
Noble throne Duke of Milan, Miranda, Prospero, Doctor Alonso, King of Naples, Sebastian, Abanzos, treacherous brother, Antonio, Prospero's brother, who usurped his position as Duke of Milan, Ferdinand, Alenson's son, Gonzalo, a kindly Neapolitan courtier, Ariel, a spirit who does Prospero's bidding, Caliban, a villain and defamed son of
छत पे नहीं।
Prospero's bidding, Caliban, a villain and deformed son of a witch named Sycorax, Trinculo, the king's jester, Stefano, the king's drunken steward, Iris, Ceres, and Juno, spirits who performed in a mask. The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, 1600 to 1601. Hamlet. Claudius, King of Denmark, Gertrude, mother to Helvet, Ophelia, beloved of Hamlet, Horatio, friend to Hamlet, Baltimore, and Cornelius are courtiers, Rossin, Crunch, and Guildingsters are courtiers and Hamlet's friends, Marcellus, Bernardo, officers, Rinaldo, servant to Paulinus. Bernardo, officers, Rinaldo, servant to Collins, Fortin, Brass, Prince of Norway, Hamlet, nephew of Claudius, Polonius, chief counselor to the king, Larret, son to Polonius, Francesco, a soldier, ghost of Hamlet's father, grave diggers, a sexton. The Tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice, 1603 to 4. The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, 1600 to 1. The Tempest, 1611. The Tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice, 1603 to 4. Duke of Venice, Othello the Moor, general in the Venetian military, Desdemona, Othello's wife, Iago, Othello's captain, Michael, Cassio, Othello's captain, Emilia, Iago's wife, Bianca, Cassio's lover, Berventiu, Desdemona's father, Rodrigo, in love with Desdemona, Gratiano, Brabantio's brother, clone servant. The tragedy of King Lear. Lear, king of Britain, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia are Lear's daughter, Duke of Albany, Goneril's husband, Duke of Cornwall, Rogan's husband, Earl of Gloucester, Earl of Kent, later disguised as Lias Edgar, Gloucester's son disguised as Tom a Beggar. Edmund, Gloucester's illegitimate son, Oswald, Goneril's steward, fool, Lear's fool, king of France, suitors and later husband to Cordelia, Duke of Burgundy, suitors to Cordelia, Curan, Courtier. The tragedy of Macbeth, 1606. The tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice, 1603 to 4. The tragedy of Macbeth, 1606. Dunciad, King Scotland, Malcolm, Donald Aben, Dunciad's son, Macbeth, and Banquo, generals in the army of King Duncan. Lady Macbeth, Macbeth's wife. Lady Macbeth, Macbeth's wife. Macduff, Rose, Lennox, Angus, or Cathens, nobleman of Scotland. Fleance, Banquo's son. Lady Macduff, Macduff's wife. Rose, Lennox, Angus, Menteith, Cathens, Scottish Thanes. Seward, general of the English forces. Hecate, Queen of the Witches, Three Witches. Lady Macbeth, Queen of the Hecate, Queen of the Witches, Three Witches. Shakespearean play that include masque. Shakespeare's plays that include Theodore the lake poets. Wordsworth composed some of his finest poems during the years 1798 to 99. The Preludes, his autobiographical poem, considered to be his masterpiece. Wordsworth, Poetry and Southey. Maybe 1790, lyrical ballads, 1888, the Recluse lyrical ballad. The first Mother's Day College lines letter from Sydney, tree which stands near the lake. The Nightingale conversational poem, the female awakening Wordsworth. Goody Blake and Henry King. Lines written at a small distance from my house and sent by my neighbor. Boy to the person to whom they are addressed. Wordsworth. Anecdote for fathers Wordsworth. We are 7. 7 Wordsworth lines written in early spring. The thorn, Wordsworth, the last of the flock. Wordsworth. Antonio Conley. David, the mad mother Wordsworth. The idiot boy Wordsworth. Lines written here. It's not upon the themes at evening Wordsworth. Pause. Tuition and reply Wordsworth. The table stand an evening scene on the same subject Wordsworth. Woodman traveling Wordsworth. The complaint of the forsaken Indian woman Wordsworth. The convict Wordsworth. Lines 18 a few miles above Internal Wordsworth. The recluse.